Hello there. If you are new here, my name is Kara and I am the owner at Kara's Claws. And today I'm going to be doing a basic gel method application. I wanted to show everyone how I do this, and I'm going to be using foils today too, so I can show you how I do those as well. So right now on my nails, I have some builder gel and then I have peel base. But if you're just dipping on your natural nails, you can do this the same exact way. So first I am applying a layer of my gel base coat, and an optional step is to go ahead and put a layer of your gel base on every single nail, cure it, and then go in and do another layer and then dip. I just find since I'm using peel base, I don't need that extra longevity. But if you want them to stay longer, I would recommend trying that. So when I'm using foil dips, I like to lay my nail into the dip after pouring it into a little cupcake liner. You saw I kind of shimmied it so that the foils would come up to the top. I don't dip into the jars when I'm using the gel method because gel dries by curing, so you don't want to smudge it when you're going in with your nail. So if you're using a solid dip, you can pour over. But like I said, with the foils, I like to lay my nail in it so that I can get it exactly how I want it. Sorry if you hear my little guy coughing. He has a super bad cough right now. He's upstairs watching some shows, so don't mind that. So when you're doing this, you want to make sure you cap your edges so that your dip gets everywhere. Again, I'm just laying it in. Then I take my finger and just pat them down. The foils that I use in my dips are super light, and they actually will like float in the air if they get in the air. So they go down really nicely and smooth. So that's something that was really important when I was looking for foils to go into my dip. I wanted them to be very user-friendly and lay nice and flat. This dip is called Champagne on Ice, and it's from my Gilded Grandeur collection that I actually released quite a while back, but this is one that I just love. It's the milky white base with the different colored foils. There's gold, rose gold, and silver. So if you like all the different jewel tones, this is perfect for you. Or not jewel tones. I don't know what I'm talking about. Metallics. So I like using the milky base in the foils because when you go in with your second layer, they kind of show through. And I just really like the look of it. I think it's super pretty. So again, I'm just patting it down. If you're doing this with dip liquids, I would use a little baggie over your finger just so you don't get any of the sticky base onto your finger because it will dry and be annoying. With the gel, if it gets on you a little bit, you can just wipe it off with some rubbing alcohol and you'll be totally fine. So again, I'm just using my gel base going on the whole entire nail. So since I have builder gel on, I have my nails built up. My apex is already built, so I don't need to go in and build my apex. If you're somebody who has longer nails and you want to dip on your longer nails, I will also make a video on how to do the apex method. Basically, you go in and you only dip like 3/4 of your nail, and then you go in and dip half your nail, and then you do a full dip and then another full dip. So it kind of just gives your nail more strength in the middle where it's more likely to break. But like I said, I do that with my builder gel already. Or if you have shorter nails, you don't really need to worry about it. So with these kind of dips, I just do 2 layers because again, I have the strength of my builder gel. If you are looking for more strength and you want to make sure your nails don't break, you can do 3 layers. It's totally up to you what your preference is. Some people like their nails really thin. Some like them more thick so they feel stronger. It's totally up to you. So I use this little tool to go around my cuticles to make sure that nothing is touching my skin. And then you go in, and if you see any spots that look wet, you can just dip it right in because sometimes it will soak into the gel and you're able to dip more on top of it. So I really love my gels because they are Hema free and 9 free. So if you're somebody that has allergies or if you struggle with dip flu, these are a great option for you. And again, if you have had gel allergies, I would still be careful. Even though they're Hema free, you still want to do a little patch test maybe on one of your nails, so just to be sure. But yeah, I really have been enjoying the gel method. It goes on so smooth and so easily. You'll see that I barely have to do any buffing when it's done. So I cured those in my gel LED UV lamp for 30 seconds. And on the first layer, I like to go in with more of a fluffy brush so it doesn't break up the foils. And then you'll see when I brush off the second layer, I like to do more of the stiff brush so that it does kind of break up the second layer. Totally personal preference. You can use either one, whatever is best for you. So again, I sped it up a little bit right here because it's the same process. You want to be extra precise on this layer or whatever is your last layer so that you don't have any spots missing on your nails. There's no patches. So again, just go through and use a little tool to get any off. These are nice too if they are overhanging. You can really easily break them and move them where you want. So again, just going through the whole thing. If you find that you have some that's stuck to your brush even after you brushed it off, you can just wipe it off on a piece of paper towel and it'll come right off. So you can see I'm going in a little more precisely, making sure to get all the sidewalls. And you really want to make sure to cap your edges on these so that they last as long as possible and you don't have any lifting. I especially want to cap my edges when I'm using peel base because that's what really holds it on the majority. And something exciting about, speaking of peel base and builder gel, I will be offering that in the near future. I don't have a date yet. I'm just waiting on my supplier and trying to figure out when we can get the bulk order in, but I'm so excited. I have a couple of my friends that are going to be trying out the peel base with me, and I will definitely keep you all updated. It's a clear formula and it's pretty thin. So I'm really, really excited because I want to be able to have everything for you all. And as always, the builder gel, just like my gels, will be Hema free and 9 free and no nasty ingredients. You all know that that is super important to me, for myself as well as for all of you. I would never try to sell something that I wouldn't feel comfortable using on myself. So that will remain true no matter what, and I will always be just providing the highest quality for you and for myself. So again, just go through, get it really nice and evenly, and then you're going to dip it right into the powder. Well, not dip, lay flat. And I like the little cupcake liners for this because they fill up a little bit higher, so it's easier to use. I am using one of my super, super tiny sample jars because that's what I use when I'm experimenting, mixing dips. So all the dips that I use for myself are in teeny tiny jars, but the ones on my site are 0.25 ounce full jars, just so there's no confusion there. So again, I'm going in and brushing everything off. Like I said before, I use the stiff brush when I'm doing that second layer. So I'm okay with it breaking up because it has the second layer underneath, and some of those will kind of show through under that milky white dip, and I just love the look of that. So brush that off, and then you're going to go in with a layer of of base gel. You could go in with a layer of builder gel after you cure the base gel if you're using a really chunky glitter and it's not laying flat for you. But with my foils, you don't need that. So this layer of base gel is acting like the clear dip powder if you were to be using the regular dip method in encapsulating with clear. With the gel method, you don't want to encapsulate with clear because the particles in the clear aren't going to dissolve in the gel like they would with the activator. I don't know the whole chemical process, but it can end up looking cloudy and make your glitters not show through. So you want to avoid the clear dip powder if you're using the gel method. So again, this base coat is going to be acting as an encapsulating for your foil so that when you go in and buff, it's not going to take off the color of all of your foils. So once I do this, I make sure I'm capping my edges. I'm getting every part that's covered with dip with that so that when I go in and buff, it's not going to mess it up. And while I'm here, I will just update everyone on what's been going on in our lives. So if you haven't been following along or don't know, I have 3 children. I have Marty, who's going to be 6 in just a couple weeks, and he has Down syndrome and a few other health issues that have pretty much resolved themselves, but he's still, sometimes if he gets a cold, he ends up having to go to the hospital with breathing issues. So we were actually just at the children's ER last night because he was having some struggles with breathing. Thankfully, he was able to just get a steroid there and an extra breathing treatment, and we were able to go home after a few hours. But obviously that's very stressful, and he had some scary times when he was a baby, so it just can be really triggering and stressful. But I'm just so thankful that we were able to go home and didn't have to stay there. I also have a 3-year-old named Graham and a 1.5-year-old named Rosie. So super busy, super crazy. Winter is hard here in Michigan. It's been really cold out, and Marty doesn't like to play outside. Only Graham and Rosie do. So that can be tough. But I'll quick tell you what I just did. I took a little piece of paper towel with some rubbing alcohol and just took off the tacky layer of that base coat. The reason I use base coat instead of top coat is that it just sticks on better. So I like to use that as my encapsulating step. So here I am just perfecting my shape. It doesn't take very much since I shaped everything beforehand, but I just go in around the side walls and around my cuticle, get any rough areas. You can see I'm feeling it with my finger. I am someone who's a picker, and if there's any bumps or anything, it will drive me nuts. So I like to make sure it's perfect and I get everything just how I want it. So anyway, we have been at the hospital quite a few times in the past few months. Rosie also has asthma. So she was actually in the ICU and on a ton of oxygen, and it was super scary. So we just haven't really been able to catch a break. Thankfully, Graham is healthy all the time. He's just 3, and that has its own struggles, but I'm really thankful I get to be a stay-at-home mom with them. My husband is my web developer. He is a tech guy and helps so much and is an amazing husband and dad. And yeah, it's just been so much fun being able to start this business and do it from home while I am home with my kids. So I work, I make the dips and stuff when they're taking naps and early in the morning. So we get up super early, like 4:45, so I can have a few hours to do work, to pack up orders and create new things. And that has just been the best for us because it just gives me time where I know they're going to be sleeping and I have time to get the orders out before the mail comes and can get them out. So I do my very best to get the packages out the next day. But when I have big launches, it takes a little bit longer because it is just me mixing them and fulfilling the orders. So I always appreciate your patience, but I definitely try my best to get everything out as soon as possible because I know how hard it is to wait for your dips and I don't want anyone waiting. So here I'm just going over it with a little buffer, any spots that feel a little rough. But as you can see, I barely have to do anything. The gels are very self-leveling. Like I said, the foils go on really smoothly, so you're not gonna have to do a lot of buffing. That's something that is really important to me. Even if you're doing the dip liquids, my dip liquids are medium dry time and also pretty thin and self-leveling. So the same is true for those. You're not going to have to do much buffing. My powders are really finely milled and go on super smooth. So my goal is little to no buffing. So after I do that, I take alcohol again and put it on my stiff brush and brush off all of the dust that I created. You want to brush it down away from you so that you're not pushing anything into your cuticles. Then I'm doing the rest of my hand because I just get it everywhere. You go in then with your Hema free top coat. And I love this part when you put the top coat on, it just makes everything pop. If you're going to be using a matte coat, it's the same process. You would
go
just
back to bed right now.
Put that on right now instead.
It's not time to wake
I actually
up.
really like the look of the matte top coat with foils as well.
Go back to bed right now.
And I could offer that if people are interested. Just let me know, drop a comment if you'd like me to add that to the shop, because that's definitely a possibility. So again, go in and cap your edges, make sure you get every single spot with your gel top coat. And I just got this new iPhone, so I'm trying to figure out how to use it, but I am obsessed with it already. The video quality is so much better than my old phone, and so you better be prepared for a lot of YouTube videos because I am having so much fun. With that said, if you have anything specific you'd like to see in a video, comment, message me, whatever, let me know. I would be happy to do requests. That would help me out too. Then I don't have to think of what to do. So it would be helpful for both of us. As always, you can find all the products that I used in the description, and all my products are at carasclaws.com. And I'm just so excited with how far this business has come and all the people that have been trying it and loving it. It seriously just makes me so thankful, and I honestly never would have thought it would become like this. I started mixing my own dips and just selling the rest on the buy-sell trade groups on Facebook, and my friend Katie would always buy from me, so I basically just made requests from her, and she inspired me to open a website, and my husband too. And yeah, I honestly would not have done it without them. I just was happy doing my little thing, but this has been so fulfilling, so amazing for our entire family. It truly is a huge blessing. It's good for me to have something like this, a creative outlet that I enjoy doing, and I get to connect with so many of you amazing people. Like, I've made some of my best friends on Instagram, so I'm just thankful for the opportunity. Here I'm using my cuticle oil. I think that one was raspberry lemonade that I used. These cuticle oils are really nourishing. They'll help strengthen and actually help your natural nails grow. They have a lot of awesome ingredients in them, and I swear by them. I have one in every part of my house, in all my pockets and purses and car. So I definitely recommend using them. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this is helpful. Let me know what you think and give me any of your questions. Have a great rest of your day.